Hi, I'm Laura Flandermeyer, Pest Management Outreach Specialist with UW-Madison Extension. In this video, I'll show you how to get started with the Survey123 app, set up a new trap site, and log your weekly moth counts using a mobile device. First, you need to download the ArcGIS Survey123 app. You can find the app in the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. With today's demonstration, I'll be using an iPhone. Once downloaded, open the app. On the home screen, you'll see a few options, and you want to click Continue without signing in. This takes us to the next screen. On this screen, if you haven't already, you need to input the insect trap network for the current year and delete out any older surveys if they're still in there. If you need to add the survey, you can click on the scan button and scan the QR code or enter it directly in the search bar. Now that I have the correct trap network for this current trapping season, I'll click on it to open. Once you open, you'll see additional information about collecting information and using the inbox feature. I need to set up a new trap though, so I'm going to start with collect and click on that. Next, I'll enter my trap location, choosing enter your trap location here. This pulls up a map that shows me my GPS location, so this step is best done when you're physically in the field setting up your trap. And here it knows that I'm at the extension building, but I want to set up my trap for Arlington. So I can click into the map and navigate to this correct site. All right. Now that I've navigated to the correct site, I can see that this is set up in Columbia County at the Agricultural Research Station, and I need to check the Rusty Patch Bumblebee zone. You can set traps in low potential and no potential zones, but if it said it was a high potential zone, you'd see a warning message indicating that you should move the trap to a different location. Then you need to enter the required information. I'll start out with my first and last name. Then I'll enter a trap name. It's best to choose a trap name that's easily identifiable by you, but also gives you an idea of where the location is. For this, I'm just going to choose Arlington. If I was setting more than one trap at Arlington, I might choose to name the different traps Arlington 1 and Arlington 2, or Arlington North and Arlington South, but that's up to you. Next, I'll select my trap network. The one I'm setting up right now is for black cutworm, so I'll select that moth. I'm setting it out today, but you would set it out on the date that is indicated by the instructions provided to you by DATCP. And I'll select the nearest crop type, which I know to be alfalfa. My next step is to put in any notes if you need identifiable features. So for me, I'm just going to put trap is on a metal stake. Because if I forget where it is, that helps me out later. I'm not a new trapper, but if you are, you want to hit yes and enter your information here. This information is really important so that the DATCP Pest Survey Program Coordinator can get in touch with you and make sure that you have all the instructions for a successful season. Okay, you can review your information, and when it looks good to you, click the black check mark in the bottom right-hand corner. It'll pull up some options for you, like Send Now, Continue the Survey, or Save in your Outbox. You want to click Send Now. If you don't have cell service at a certain time, you can always choose Save in Outbox, and that saves it offline. But remember to send it when you get service again. I'll choose Send Now. Once the trap site is set up, you can report the number of moths captured each week. To do so, you'll want to click on Inbox from the main screen. You'll see a long list of traps show up, and this list will just get even longer as the season goes on. and cooperators come online. The easiest thing to do would be to utilize the search bar at the top to look for your name or the location that you set up for your trap. So I'm just going to search Arlington. And we'll see that no results showed up. That's because I didn't refresh. So if you don't see your trap, go ahead and hit that refresh button at the bottom of the page. And there we go. It pops up now. So I'll click into that. And this is where I will be responsible for entering my weekly trap count. I'll click on the plus sign, and that expands out and gives me more instructions. I'll enter the date that was monitored, the number of black cutworm moths that I collected, because that's the moth I'm targeting. And then there's additional expanding sections for trap status and maintenance. So if your trap was damaged, make sure to note that in the section. And then for maintenance, be sure to report if you take your trap down, move it to a different location, or when you change the lure and the vapor tape strip. But I'm not doing anything quite yet. There's additional images where you can look for the moths if you forget what your moth is supposed to look like to assist you with identification. And then you must report whether or not you caught a bumblebee in your trap. If you did, select yes and indicate the number of bumblebees and the species if you know what it is. If you don't, you have the option to submit images and DATCP will help identify those. Put any comments in this comments box if you have additional information you want the Trapping Network facilitators to know about. Once you have completed all of the information in full on this page, you can hit the black check mark in the bottom right-hand corner. And then again, click Send Now. That sends our data back to DATCP. Once you've submitted the initial trap count for the first week, you'll follow a similar process to input counts for subsequent weeks. So we'll start again by clicking Inbox, finding our trap location, which for me it's Arlington. Check at the top of the screen in that blue banded box to make sure that it's the correct trap. Mine is Black Cutworm Arlington. And then choose Enter Your Weekly Trap Count. Scroll to the bottom of the page. You will see a plus mark at the bottom. Click on that, and that's how you will log an additional week's worth of counts. So now we're on entry 2, and we would fill out all of the information, and when that is complete, we can send it to DATCP by selecting the check mark at the bottom of the screen and choosing Send Now. Your trapping helps us track pest pressure and provide timely guidance to growers across the state. If you're unsure about using the app or need support submitting your counts or setting up a trap location, contact UW-Madison Extension or DATCP. Thanks for your help and thanks for watching.